Perez, big story in Action News is breaking out of West Philadelphia. That is where a 7-year-old was shot tonight. Police are on the scene, the 200 block of North Simpson Street. That's where Action News reporter George Solis is live, gathering details tonight. George.
Walter, the scene is tense to say the least. Top police brass is here. No one being allowed into this area unless they live here. Take a look behind me. Again, heavy police presence. You actually can see what appears to be a bullet hole in a truck windshield here, which seems to be part of this ongoing investigation. We were here a little earlier at the scene in the 200 block of Simpson Street. Here is what we know. A 7-year-old, as you mentioned, was shot in the head. The child, a little boy, in critical condition at CHOP. We were there earlier, and it appeared to be family members had gathered outside of the ER, visibly distraught. Investigators do say an arrest has been made, but so far, no weapon has been recovered. A little while ago, Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw issuing a statement, writing in part, quote, "We are heartbroken by the tragedy that occurred this evening on the 200 blocks of Simpson Street. An innocent 7-year-old was struck by gunfire and is in grave condition. Although an individual has been taken into custody, that does not diminish the impact this senseless act has on the child, his family, and the entire community." Now, if we
I've been doing a lot of research over the last several months. Here is, according to PhiladelphiaPolice.com, crime map and stats. So as you can see, this year, Philadelphia, now me, I'm on the outside of Philadelphia, in the Ardmore-ish area. So August the 9th, 2020, as of August the 9th, 2020, there has been 259 homicides, 31%. According to another stat I read, Philly is among the top 10 cities, top 10 largest cities. Philadelphia is number 2 in homicides. Now look at this. We haven't had these many homicides since 2007, and I do have some more stats up here. Now I want to say that this video, is, I guess, for educational purposes, but also it's some mature content we're about to delve into, and some videos I got that we, are going to look at. So here is homicides from 1960 to 2013. I was born in 83. I remember like the early 90s. In the mid 90s, just bodies everywhere, the drugs. Then also you have to factor in the mob war that was going on in Philly too as well. I remember this decline. Crime is down, hasn't been this low. I remember all this on the news. And then 2012, it went down again. But look, wait, where's my stats? So for the full year, 2019 had 356 homicides. We're already up 31%. And as you can see, especially if you've been watching, the news, or you live in Philly, it's just senseless killing. From teenagers between the age of 14 and, men between, 30. But for the most part, it's young people. Just for nothing. Dumb shit, too. So when you look, you have to think like, yo, I don't even want to go to Philly. And when you're looking at all these stats, you're thinking to yourself like, well, here, let's look at this right here. Let's break down the Philadelphia map for those who don't know. South Philly. Southwest Philly over here. This is a pretty rough area. As you can see, this is the Philly outline, the dark right there. I'm over here. This is North Philly right here. To put things into perspective, right here, City Hall. The art museum is around this area. Basically, this is a, wealthy neighborhood. This is our downtown. Up here's a lot of drugs, heroin, the opioid epidemic, and this is just 2017. And as you can see, the further you start getting, now ain't no real crime up there. the Cheltenham-ish area, Willow Grove, going to it like Willow Grove and all that. But this is 2017. I'm just giving you a little outline of how the city looks. Now, before we go forward, I don't know how I discovered this channel right here. I think I was on Twitter or something, but it's some horrific shit on this Philadelphia police channel. You know, and I just be wondering, and this is just the edited versions. When you see some of the unedited stuff, you're thinking like, what the fuck is going on in our city? It's crazy. And I'm not here to try to prosecute and all that. My job is to bring awareness and I'm wondering what's going on. You know, how can people just kill and shoot with no regard? Now, I remember when I was in the streets, and I can understand to an extent, but it's like, man, I can't even relate. And I know this area, 25th and Ingersoll. I know this area. And you know, kids are getting hit. And you wonder, like, what can really, really be done? You know, I mean, yeah, we can talk all the politics and all that type shit. And be like, well, what's the Democratic this and all that? I don't really care about none of that. What can be done? Because let me tell you, 9 times out of 10, a lot of these people who be doing these crimes and all this, and they get to court and they cry, or they be thinking like, I go away, and, you know, they be fainting and passing out and all that. And with all this, people don't have no jobs, kids are home, and I'm thinking to myself, when the wintertime hits, it's only going to get worse. Don't get me started on Chicago. Like, how did this spike in crime, is it because of COVID? People are out of work. How did this spike in crime just happen, not just in Philly, but in other states too? You know, for example, this one right here, this is some dark shit. Where is it at? This is some dark shit right here. Like, look at this. Look at this shit right here. Crazy. Now, mind you, this is a homicide that's about to go down. Viewer discretion is advised. Obviously, this is on the Philadelphia Police Channel. In my understanding, there's so many channels like this, like for states and body cam footage and all that. And it has you questioning. It's like, yo, watch this. Straight, close range, you out of here. My God. So it make you think, like, is this street beef? Is this like hired hitmen? And these are regular people you walk around, you see every day, all day. Murderers. Some of them serial killers. And it brings me to the number one question I have is, like, where did they grow up? Where are their fathers? Did they have fathers? Did the streets swallow them up? Like, how does it go down? You know? Like, and I'm talking about in this day and age with technology and so much help I don't know. I remember when I grew up, we didn't have all this shit these kids have these days. And I know I'm saying, oh, I turned 37 in a couple of weeks. But this right here, I'm like, they're doing it. It's cameras everywhere now. It wasn't like that back then. Like, no pun intended, but you can get away with murder back then compared to like now. And they just blatant with it. It's outrageous.
First at 5 o'clock now, Philadelphia police have released surveillance video of a vehicle linked to a deadly road rage shooting. Good evening, everyone. I'm Natasha Brown in for Yuki Washington.
And I'm Jessica Cartalia. The 25-year-old victim was gunned down at 52nd and Warren Streets last Friday. Eyewitness News reporter Shantae Lands is live outside police headquarters with more on the vehicle.
This mid to late 2000s dark color is wanted in the brutal slaying of 25-year-old Shaquille Mack, a young father who was shot to death while standing a few feet away from his own children. Philadelphia.
It's old. You know, I think this is old. Yeah, this was last year, but the point is, it just seems as though like it's getting worse. Is it not getting worse? You know, and you would think that in this day and age, it wouldn't be this bad. And then yet, you don't have enough resources for like young. Okay, for example, here's the thing, right? I've been really trying to understand this Black Lives Matter movement. Is it to get Trump out, or is it to help black people, or is it to stop police brutality and oppression? Like, which? I'm confused. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure some of it out. And then when I look at the founders, I think like, well, wait a minute. No, like I'm trying to figure it out. Like you're lesbian women. And what about all these men that's getting killed everywhere, children and everything? Why are you not speaking out? But like, hold up, we got to hold some rallies and everything for this. And like, you know, you got a rally going on right now in Philly. It started about 3 p.m., about not even, 10 minutes ago, supposed to be, in City Hall where they're supposed to be marching or something like that. But it's like, what does that do? Nothing. Here, let me see. CBS Philly, where we at? Let me see if they down there. Gun violence. Look, this is the story right here. 29-year-old man, broad daylight, in critical condition. It's outrageous. But I'm working on some things in regards to, Philadelphia and the general area. More importantly, trying to keep the nuclear family together and make sure fathers are staying in their children's lives, male or female. Because right now it seems as though there's more going on to break the family up or to get fathers out than there is to make sure that they're in being a part of their children's lives. It's a lot going on right now. Like, you heard about the Philly family court supervising judge, court supervisor, when he was ripping down the Black Lives Matter posters and everything like that and saying, well, they asked him, well, do Black Lives Matter? And he said something along the line, well, they don't. To me, they don't. And you think to yourself, like, okay, well, wait a minute. You, of all people, I'm not saying that you should be kneeling. I'm not saying that you should support. Like, maybe you feel the way I feel. Like, they really don't care about black people. But yet, at the same time, why would you say that? It's like, why would you say that, bro? When you a last person working in a service like that, where you should be saying that? Because that makes people think, like, well, wait a minute. What do you say when people not around you, and are you doing your job to the best of your abilities in regards to black children and all that? Because I've been in this courtroom, but whatever, that's a whole different thing. I've been seriously considering and thinking about like going into Philly and trying to do like some interviews with some people, and it's dangerous, but I was out there in the rioting and the looting and shit. But I really want to, just to ask questions like, yo, you ever think like, you got your whole life ahead of you, waking up one day on a Sunday morning with your family and your kids, and going to lunch or something, this is all y'all think is like, we're going to ride for a street or a block, as they say, or a neighborhood that's not going to be ours in like 10, 15 years. I don't get it. Like, is it over drugs still? Or is it just street beef? Or is it like, I told you not to come around here no more, and you come around, And then, of course, you got the people who are killing each other over girls, and, you talk to her, I told you leave her alone, I'm getting you out. I don't get it. And then when they go to court or they're in jail, for example, I'm going to pause real quick.
To the State Correctional Institute at Graterford. It's Pennsylvania's largest maximum security prison. There are currently over 3,300 men in this maximum security prison. My name is Mike Lorenzo. I'm the Deputy Superintendent for Internal Security, and I help manage this prison. Before I took this position, I was a member of the Philadelphia Police Department for 25 years. During my police career, I helped put some of these men behind these walls. I've seen firsthand what the impact of crime does to the victims' families, the suspects' families, and the community at large. The video you're about to see was developed by Image in an effort to help keep our youth and our young adults out of prison.
Now, you can show kids this type of shit and everything, but there's nothing. I've been to jail before, not prison, but there's nothing like when you feel that cold ass air, you know, you seeing somebody going cold turkey next to you, you know, and you like gotta lay on the floor under the bench. You're trying to get your own little space, hoping you don't gotta take a shit. You know, you don't want this shit, man. And you know, they think like when they do their crime that they're gonna keep getting away with that shit, and before you know it, you be one of these people. Like right now, you can see that no telling how long they've been in there, and they still in there right now whenever this was recorded.
Now on a life sentence. So I'm here. It wasn't until I got to the penitentiary is when I started realizing the potential I had to be somebody important or do things important. It wasn't until I got here when I started saying, well, damn, I could have did this, I could have did that, but it's too late now because I'm in the penitentiary. And I got a lot of time, I got a life sentence. And in Pennsylvania, there is no getting out on a life sentence. So I'm here until I die. Because I was so young, I thought that it was nothing they could do to me. That, yeah, I'm young, maybe they could send me away to a little home or something. I never thought that I would be in a penitentiary with grown men. But that's exactly where I was at 17.
Think about those like gangbangers and everything from like the 80s and the 90s that went to jail. You thinking like that? You went to jail when they used to have like the headphones, the little wire piece, the little metal aluminum piece, and the little joints, the Walkman with the tape. Like you went to jail then. You don't know. You ain't seeing experience the PlayStation 1, like all that. You be thinking like, damn, and that be them. You know, you may see these murders and everything happen and all that. They get arrested. Like the guys that shot the baby, they was arrested. And you think like you was probably just playing Xbox One 2 weeks ago and you did some dumb shit and now you going for the rest of your life and you took somebody else with you. I don't get it. And I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Like I was, and you know what? I experienced like how the streets can like swallow you up. But after a while, I was smart enough when I knew like, yo, I got to get away because this shit is escalating. And then before I know it, I'm going to be in prison somewhere. But some people just don't get it. So it's hard to look at myself as like a near 37-year-old man and thinking I'm doing a PSA video trying to tell these youth to stop shooting each other when I know damn well they ain't gonna listen. So what can be done? You can't say, okay, well, you know, we need stricter punishments because they're still going to do it anyway. As we see, they're like, oh, well, I didn't know I was going to get life. Meanwhile, the damage has been done. We need more help in the communities. And I'm not talking about police and people say abolish the police. What about more like training for the police? We need that. And stop having these fucking sociopaths and psychopaths. A lot of police or a lot of cops are people who never been through anything in life. So they get a little bit of power and they abuse it. Simple as that. You know, I'm all for having some people like, obviously, you know, it's got to be screening and everything like that, but have some people who actually experience shit in life so they know how to relate to some people. I don't know. Don't get me started. But anyway, I'm TstreeT Controversy. I got some even darker content coming. This ain't nothing. This is just me doing a little rant, you know, just trying to figure out what the hell is going on. But I got some more content coming, man. It's not all boxing. And I got some, you know, edited content coming. I'm going to put it out. And we're just going to go from there. Please subscribe.